But Robin doesn't respond. For the first time, uncertainty crosses her face, the kind that can tear this family apart further than ever. Outside the courtroom, Christine and Janelle hug each other. It's not happy. It's weighty, emotional, nearly desperate. Christine speaks in a whisper. "Thank you. You didn't have to do that." Janelle answers quietly. "Yes, I did. Someone had to." They tear them apart as reporters surround them, wondering if Janelle's testimony is an indication she's turning on Kody. Janelle says nothing. She simply walks away, her complexion white but suddenly determined. Inside, Kody stands by himself by the defense table. The mind camera pans on him. A man who previously had authority, now seeing the walls closing in. And yet, somewhere deep inside, there's still rebellion in his eyes. Because Kody Brown isn't finished fighting. He glances down toward the judge's bench, his voice a mere whisper but laced with resentment. They think they know the truth. They have no idea what's coming. The gavel bangs. Court resumes in 15 minutes. Kody steps outside, his attorney in tow. Robin lingers behind, hesitating as to whether to take his hand or to let him weather the storm by himself. Outside the courthouse, thunder booms in the distance. Dark clouds roll in, reflecting the turmoil that rages within these broken hearts. Rain patters against the courthouse panes as a labored heartbeat. The air is slightly scented with wet concrete and anxiety. Everyone feels that this day will be different from the rest. Christine sits more erect than normal, hands clasped in her lap. Janelle's testimony yesterday still lingers in the air, unseen but palpable, like perfume that won't dissipate. The bailiff says, "All rise," and the judge comes in. He looks over his papers and states, "The court will now call Robin Brown to the stand." A ripple runs through the room. Robin stands, smoothing the front of her navy dress. Her heels click gently as she makes her way to the witness chair. Her eyes flick to Kody, and for the first time she doesn't find solace there, only stress. She holds up her hand, promises to tell the truth, and sits. The room quiets again. Christine watches her intently. The two women have shared rivalry and affection, but at the moment, Christine does not view a rival. She views someone caught between loyalty and conscience. Avery starts cautiously. "Mrs. Brown, you've been referred to as Mr. Brown's legal wife, is that right?" "Yes," Robin whispers. "And throughout your marriage, did you notice how the family relationships differed after Christine departed?" Robin pauses. "Yes, things changed. Can you tell me how?" Robin's voice shakes. There was more anger, more blame. Kody said Christine poisoned the others against him, but I began to notice things I hadn't noticed before. How he spoke down to them, how he blamed them for everything. Avery nods sympathetically. "Did you ever feel pushed to back up his explanation?" Robin lets out a breath. "Daily, he'd say to me, 'If you love me, you'll stand up for me.' And I did, even when I knew he was in the wrong." The courtroom stirs, the noise growing like faraway thunder. Kody tenses. "Mrs. Brown?" Avery goes on. "Did you ever witness Mr. Brown doing anything that made you worry about the other wives' safety?" Robin gazes at Kody once more, her eyes moist. "He never struck anybody, but sometimes words can hurt worse than fists." Cody's lawyer jumps to his feet. "Objection!" "Relevance." The judge shakes his head. "Overruled. The witness may proceed." Robin wipes away a tear and goes on. "He dictated the finances, the calendars, even who could speak to who. When Christine departed, he ordered me to shut her down entirely. He said she was the enemy. But when I saw her, I saw someone who was finally free for the first time in years." Christine's eyes well up with tears. Robin hangs her head, feeling ashamed. "I'm sorry," she barely breathes. "I should have defended you." Avery allows the quiet to hang. It is louder than any question. At last, Avery asks, "Did you learn anything about the family finances when Christine left?" Robin slowly nods. "There were bank statements, ones I shouldn't have seen. Kody had accounts that weren't part of the household. Accounts that I never knew existed. Money that wasn't from our show. Money that wasn't to be kept in secret." Cody's face reddens. "Robin!" He breathes through his teeth. Robin gazes up at him with sudden flame. "Don't you dare, Kody, not here. Not ever." The judge bangs his gavel for order, but the moment has already turned. Cody's bravado falters. replaced by something primal. Fear. Avery takes a step closer. "Mrs. Brown, where did you get that money?" "I don't know precisely," Robin replies. "But I discovered wire transfers out of the family business accounts, sizable ones, into an investment account in his name alone. And when I questioned it, he told me, 'Don't question me. You wouldn't understand.'" Gasps circulate around the courtroom. Kody's attorney struggles to make an objection, but it's too late. The bombshell has hit. The judge scribbles something down and says, "Those documents will be examined by the court." Robin's shoulders fall. He said it was for our future, but it didn't feel right. It felt like he was preparing for a future without us. Rain patters against the windows of the courthouse like a slow pulse. The air smells slightly of damp concrete and nerves. Everyone knows today will not be like the others. Christine sits up straighter than normal, hands clasped in her lap. Janelle's words yesterday are still out there, hanging in the air, unseen but palpable, like perfume that won't go away. The bailiff shouts, "All rise," and the judge comes into the courtroom. He scans his notes and announces, "The court will now call Robin Brown to the stand." A ripple runs through the room. Robin pauses before rising, smoothing the front of her navy dress. Her heels softly click as she makes her way to the witness stand. Her eyes flash toward Kody, and for the first time, she does not seek comfort there, only pressure. She lifts her hand, promises to tell the truth, and sits down. The room falls silent once more. Christine is watching her intently. The two women have shared both rivalry and affection, but at present, Christine does not see a rival. She sees a woman caught between loyalty and conscience. Avery starts tentatively. "Mrs. Brown, you've been referred to as Mr. Brown's legal wife, right?" "Yes," Robin replies quietly. "And during your marriage, did you notice how the relationships in the family altered after Christine departed?" Robin pauses. "Yes, things changed. Can you describe how?" Robin's voice shakes. There was more blame. Anger. Kody told Christine she poisoned everyone against him, but I began to notice things I hadn't seen before. The way he talked down to them, the way he blamed everything on them. Avery nods softly. "Did you ever feel like you were being pressured to agree with his account of things?" Christine is already sitting, whispering with her attorney, her own eyes red but resolute. The judge reaches for his glasses and says, "We will continue proceedings in the case of Christine Brown versus Kody Brown. The court summons Janelle Brown as a witness." You can almost hear everyone's collective gasp. Janelle, the placid one, the peacekeeper, is going to take the stand. She ambles up slowly, her hands shaking slightly as she's sworn in. Janelle has always been the connector in this broken family, the one who attempted to keep them all together when everything began to disintegrate. But today, she is not a bridge. She is a witness. Christine watches her closely, her face a mix of relief and fear. Janelle gives her a faint nod, the kind of silent reassurance that says, "I'm here." But this won't be easy. Avery steps forward. "Mrs. Brown," she begins, "you've been a part of this family structure for over 2 decades, correct?" Janelle nods. "Yes. And during that period, can you say you've seen how Mr. Brown handled the family finances and relationships?" There's a pause from Janelle. "Yes, I have." The courtroom is silent. Avery moves closer, voice gentle but strong. "Tell the court what you saw." Janelle gasps. Her voice trembles at the beginning, but as she speaks it gains strength. Control was something Kody enjoyed. Always talking about fairness, but it never felt fair. He'd shift money from one account to another. Sometimes the family account, sometimes our own. Christine didn't always know what happened to her portion. None of us did. Christine shuts her eyes. Although she had suspected, she's struck by hearing it aloud like a tsunami. Kody's attorney leaps to his feet. "Objection. Speculation." The judge holds up a hand. "Overruled. The witness can testify to her own experiences." Janelle nods, steady now. He'd call it family planning. But when Christine began questioning him, everything changed. She was cut out of decisions, cut out of family meetings, and then one day, cut out of love. A hush falls over the courtroom. Kody's jaw clenches, but Janelle continues, her voice growing stronger with each word. I made an effort to remain neutral, she says. But once Christine was gone, I had Kody tell me if I wanted to remain close to the family, I'd better watch what I said. That's when I saw it was never about unity. It was about obedience. Kody thumps his fist on the table. That's not true, Janelle. You're distorting everything. The judge slams his gavel. Mr. Brown, you will be silent unless spoken to. Kody leans back, seething. Robin reaches to touch his arm, says something quietly, but he brushes her away. Avery inclines her head toward Janelle. What did you mean by cut out of love? Janelle swallows. When Christine stopped defending everything he said, it's like she ceased to be. He'd tell the children not to spend too much time at her house. He'd make excuses, tell them she needed some time to herself. But really, he wanted to cut her off. Christine blots her eyes, but her tears are silent. Janelle glances in her direction. I'm sorry, Christine. I should have said something sooner. Christine shakes her head slowly, mouthing, It's okay. But the fact is, it's not. None of this is okay. The judge leans forward. Go on, Mrs. Brown, Janelle exhales. When I finally spoke to Kody about it, he said Christine had betrayed the family, that she was lying. But the only thing she did wrong was defending herself. The courtroom is a different place the next morning. The air is thick, the whispers sharper. Even the light that streams in through the high windows seems chilled, as if the world itself is aware of what's ahead. Kody enters first, pale but stubborn. His attorney is right behind, a sheaf of files clutched in his hand. Christine is already sitting, softly talking to her lawyer, eyes red but resolute. The judge adjusts his glasses and says, We'll resume proceedings in the matter of Christine Brown versus Kody Brown. The court calls Janelle Brown to the stand. You can almost hear the collective gasp. Janelle, the calm one, the peacemaker, is about to testify. She approaches slowly, her hands shaking slightly as she is sworn in. Janelle's always been the bridge in this broken-up family, the one who attempted to keep them all together when it was all beginning to come apart. But today she isn't a bridge. She's a witness. Christine watches her closely, her face a mix of relief and fear. Janelle gives her a faint nod, the kind of silent reassurance that says, I'm here. But this won't be easy. Avery steps forward. Mrs. Brown, she begins, you've been a part of this family structure for over 2 decades, correct? Janelle nods. Yes. And during that time, would you have observed how Mr. Brown spent the family's money and treated the family? There is a pause. Yes? I have. The courtroom is silent. Avery steps forward, voice low but insistent. Can you describe to the court what you saw? Janelle draws breath. She speaks tremulously at first, but her voice gathers strength as she continues. Kody liked control. He always told us it was for fairness, but it never was. He'd shuffle money back and forth between accounts, sometimes the family funds, sometimes our individual money. Christine didn't always get where her portion went. None of us did. Christine closes her eyes. Although she had guessed it, hearing it aloud is like a wave crashing over her. Kody's attorney stands up. Objection. Speculation. The judge holds up a hand. Overruled. The witness may testify about her own experiences. Janelle nods. Steady now. He'd call it family planning. But when Christine began questioning him, everything altered. She was cut out of decisions, cut out of family meetings, and then one day, cut out of love. It's odd the way truth can be both hurtful and liberating at once, like a wound opening again just to finally begin to heal. A silence descends over the courtroom. Kody's jaw clenches, but Janelle continues to speak, her voice growing stronger with every sentence. I attempted to remain neutral, she says. But once Christine left, Kody told me if I wanted to remain close to the family, I'd better watch what I said. That's when I knew it was never unity. It was obedience. Kody slaps his hand on the table. That's not true, Janelle. You're distorting everything. The judge bangs his gavel. Mr. Brown, you will be silent unless spoken to. Kody sits back, seething. Robin puts her hand on his arm, speaking in a low voice, but he brushes her away. Avery points to Janelle. What did you say, cut out of love? Janelle swallows. When Christine finally stopped going along with everything he said, it's like she wasn't there anymore. He'd tell the children not to go see her so often. He'd find excuses, tell them she needed to be left alone. But what he really wanted to do was keep her isolated. Christine blinks away tears, but they fall silently. Janelle glances in her direction. I'm sorry, Christine. I should have said something earlier. Christine shudders her head slightly, mouthing, It's okay. But the reality is it's not. None of this is okay. The judge inclines forward. Go on, Mrs. Brown, Janelle exhales. When I finally confronted Kody, he informed me Christine had betrayed the family, that she was telling lies. But the only thing she did wrong was attempting to stand up for herself. And so, the courtroom becomes a war zone of emotions. Each sentence slices deeper than the last. Kody's attorney rises, attempting to regain lost ground. Mrs. Brown, isn't it true that you too disagreed with Mr. Brown? That you left the family home for months on end? Yes, Janelle replies matter-of-factly. Because I was tired of going through the motions. I left to breathe. Then perhaps your testimony is tainted by personal bias. Janelle stares back at him, unflinching. Maybe it is, but bias doesn't make it a lie. There is an instantaneous murmur throughout the room. Even the judge stifles a tiny sigh, the kind which means he's heard quite enough of the dodging. Avery enters again. Mrs. Brown, did you ever witness Christine threaten or manipulate Mr. Brown in any manner? Janelle shakes her head. Never. She tried to keep things together long after I would have given up. If anything, she guarded him, even when he didn't deserve it. Kody glances away. His face relaxes for a fleeting moment, something almost like guilt, before it hardens once more. The courtroom is claustrophobic today. You can feel everyone wondering the same thing. What else has been concealed? Janelle completes her testimony softly. For years, we called it a family, but families don't silence each other. They don't shame each other. They don't turn love into control. Avery nods. No further questions. The judge gestures for Janelle to stand up, and as she heads back to her chair, the silence is near reverence. Even Robin appears shaken, her normal poise broken. Kody's attorney requests a brief recess. The judge allows it. As everyone stands, Kody spins around to Robin. She's lying. They're all against me. Robin's voice shakes. Then why does it sound true, Kody? Why does it all sound so true? He scowls at her. You're supposed to be on my side. Sits with her hands clasped so tight that her knuckles have gone white. Her eyes dart toward Kody, who looks forward, unmoving, pretending she isn't there. The years of shared laughter, late-night talks, and family dinners have vanished, replaced by a tension thick enough to choke on. The judge enters, robes billowing like a black cloak of doom. There are no cameras permitted, but if there were, this would be headline news. For this is not just another family feud. It's the trial that could perhaps finally bring to light the truth of the sister wives' deteriorating universe. The clerk bellows, Case number 2345, Christine Brown versus Kody Brown. Kody's face sets in a hard line. Christine breathes in. For the first time in years, they're not married. They're adversaries, standing on the witness stand, ready to confront everything they've both attempted to conceal. The courtroom is filled with tension as court convenes. Christine's attorney, a composed but keen-eyed woman named Avery, stands to begin the case. Your Honor, this is not just about money or promises broken. This is about lying, decades of deceit, and a woman who was forced to struggle for her own autonomy after decades of silence. A murmur runs through the small crowd. Kody adjusts in his seat. Robin, who is seated behind him, gives a firm pat on his shoulder. But even her reassurance seems staged, like a line from a play that has not gone well. Christine's tears flood. But she doesn't gaze away. Avery goes on. We will present proof that Mr. Brown employed emotional manipulation and economic coercion to control not only Christine, but the other wives. We will present how this so-called family unit was constructed upon fear, not faith. Kody's attorney jumps up at once. Objection, Your Honor. Conjecture. The judge nods slowly. Sustained. Stay within the facts, Ms. Avery. Christine lowers her head. The words may have been abbreviated, but the harm is done. The courtroom is charged, the air thick with unspoken truth. The camera cuts in to the sound of a ticking clock. There is a low hum of whispers in the courtroom, the kind that makes you skin crawl because you know something huge is going to go down. The Brown family sits on opposite sides of the aisle, their faces hard, eyes averted. Christine sits with her hands clasped so tight that her knuckles have gone white. Her eyes dart toward Kody, who looks forward, unmoving, pretending she isn't there. The years of shared laughter, late-night talks, and family dinners have vanished, replaced by a tension thick enough to choke on. The judge appears, robes billowing like a black cloud of inevitability. Cameras are forbidden, but if they were present, this would be on the front page. Because this is not a typical family feud. It's the hearing that could perhaps unravel the truth behind the sister wives' broken universe. The clerk announces, Case number 2345, Christine Brown vs. Kody Brown. Kody's face clenches. Christine draws in a breath. For the first time in years, they're not husband and wife. They're enemies, standing under oath, ready to confront everything they've both attempted to conceal. The court opens with tension that's suffocating. Christine's attorney, a placid yet keen-eyed woman named Avery, rises to begin the case. Your Honor, this isn't just a matter of money fights or unkept promises. This is a matter of lying, decades of manipulation, and a woman who had to battle for her own autonomy after years of being silenced. A murmur stirs through the small crowd. Kody adjusts in his seat. Robin, sitting behind him, gives him a gentle squeeze on the shoulder. But even her reassuring touch has the artificial feel of a botched scene in a play. Christine's eyes well up with tears, but she doesn't glance away. Avery goes on. We will present evidence that Mr. Brown employed emotional manipulation and financial coercion to control not only Christine, but the other wives as well. We will demonstrate how this so-called family dynamic was one of fear, not faith. Kody's attorney jumps up right away. Objection, Your Honor. Speculation. The judge slowly nods. Sustained. Stick to facts, Ms. Avery. Christine drops her chin. The sentences may have been aborted, but the damage is already done. The courtroom is electric. The atmosphere thick with untold truth. You can sense it too, can't you? That uncomfortable blend of fascination and suspicion, asking what lies are about to be hauled into the open. Don't blink now. It's only just beginning. Kody's attorney, Mr. Harris, enters the fray. He's slick, assertive, the type of fellow who's represented enough husbands in the past. He addresses the judge and states, this case is not about dishonesty. It's about disillusionment. Christine walked out on a spiritual marriage, one founded on assent and autonomy. She's seeking to rewrite history in this courtroom. Christine glances up at him, her lip quivering, but she remains quiet. Avery rests a comforting hand on her arm. The judge reclines, examining both parties. Proceed, he instructs. As the testimonies commence, we are shown glimpses, recollections such as pieces of a broken mirror. Christine and Janelle laughing in the kitchen. Kody storming around the living room. Enraged that Christine took the children for the weekend without permission. Robin murmuring in the background. Telling Christine things she made her doubt her value. Those memories haunt like specters in Christine's eyes today. Each question the lawyer poses unearths another fragment of the past. Christine, Avery says gently, may you tell the court why you left? Christine gasps unevenly. Because I lost myself. I was smiling on TV, acting like everything was okay. But at night I would cry. Every night I would pray that I could be peaceful, and peace never came, not until I left. There's a silence. Even Kody doesn't break it. His hand clenches into a fist, but he remains still. Avery goes on. And did Mr. Brown ever threaten to cut you off or funding when you challenged his decisions? Christine pauses. He didn't need to threaten. He just stopped including me, stopped treating me like family. The money, the love, the attention, all of that vanished. I became invisible. You can almost hear the heartache in her words, the sort that doesn't result from one terrible argument, but from years of silent anguish. Robin's eyes brim with tears. She appears conflicted, guilty to boot. Janelle and Mary exchange a look from the back row, their faces unyielding. As Christine talks, Kody finally speaks up. "Christine, that ain't right," he says, his tone low but trembling. "You split before we had a chance to work things out." Christine faces him, her voice unshaken now. "I left because you had already gone." The courtroom falls silent once more. Even the judge dips his head for a moment, sensing the emotion in her voice. Avery gets down next to Christine. "Testimony 1 is done, but the war is only just starting." Kody tilts in towards his attorney. "She's turning everything around," he grumbles, but there is a tone of fear in his voice, as if he realizes she has only just started telling the truth. Outside the courthouse, reporters wait, cameras flashing as soon as the doors open. Christine walks out first, head high, refusing to hide. Kody follows behind, flanked by Robin. Their silence speaks louder than words. This isn't over. Christine pauses on the courthouse steps and takes a deep breath. The sky is overcast, heavy with storm clouds. She whispers to herself, "This time I'm not backing down." Back in chambers, the judge orders recess. But in that court, something already has changed. The truth is slowly emerging from its hiding place, bit by bit. And at the end of the day, Christine glances back once more. The man she used to love will not look her in the eye, but she knows in her heart. The next hearing will burst open his secrets, years in the making. For the well-being of the other wives, Robin glances at Kody once more, her eyes shining. He never harmed anyone, but words can hurt harder than fists. It's odd the way the truth, the moment it is uttered, alters the whole tempo of a room. Hearts begin to pound. Breathing becomes shallow, and even silence seems to be deafening. Kody's attorney jumps up. "Objection. Relevance." The judge nods his head. "Overruled. The witness can proceed." Robin wipes away a tear and goes on. "He dictated the money, the timetables, even who was allowed to speak to whom. When Christine quit, he told me to shut her out completely. He said she was the enemy. But when I looked at her, I saw a person unfettered for the first time in years." Christine's eyes well up. Robin glances down, embarrassed. "I'm sorry," she whispers. "I should have defended you." Avery allows the silence to hang in the air. It is a more eloquent question than any she could have asked. Avery finally speaks, saying, "Did you find out anything about the family finances after Christine left?" Robin slowly nods. "There were bank statements, ones I was not supposed to read. Kody had hidden accounts I didn't even know existed, money that was not from our show, money that was not supposed to be secret." Kody's face reddens. "Robin!" he growls under his breath. Robin glares up at him with sudden flames. "Don't you dare, Kody, not here." "Not now." The judge raps for order, but the moment is already changed. Kody's bravado falters, giving way to something primal, fear. Avery takes a step closer. "Mrs. Brown, where did this money come from?" "I don't know precisely," Robin responds. "But I discovered wire transfers from family business accounts, big ones, to a named investment fund just for him. And when I asked him, he told me, 'Don't question me.'" "You wouldn't understand," gasps undulate in the courtroom. Kody's attorney stammers an objection, but it's too late. The bombshell has hit. The judge makes a note and states, "Those papers will be examined by the court." Robin's shoulders fall. "He said it was for us to have later, but something didn't seem right. It seemed like he was preparing for a future without us." And so it is that all these lies begin to come apart. Not in shouting fits, but in small confessions that hurt more than yelling ever could. Kody finally loses it. He stands up, quivering voice. You think you know me? All of you think you can just stand there and condemn me? You have no idea what I've had to give up for this family. The judge admonishes him. Mr. Brown, rein yourself in. But Kody continues. I created this family. I sacrificed everything. And what do I receive? Betrayal all around. Robin, you were supposed to be my support. Robin's tears flow freely now. I did, Kody, until I couldn't lie anymore. The courtroom is in stasis. Even the air is reluctant to stir. Avery nods, slowly, then says, no further questions. The judge releases Robin, but as she rises, she turns again to Christine. For what it's worth, she says gently, I hope you find peace. Christine nods tearfully. You too. When Robin steps down, she doesn't return to Kody's side. Instead, she takes a seat in the back row, alone, her hands trembling. Kody's lawyer quickly calls for a recess, but the judge denies it. We'll proceed. The defense scrambles to recover. Mr. Harris clears his throat. Your Honor, I'd like to call a character witness to testify to Mr. Brown's integrity, Mary Brown. The courtroom hums once more. Christine gasps for air. Mary. Mary stands slowly, as if unwilling. She glances at Kody. Her gaze is gentle but tormented. She steps up onto the stand, lifts her hand, and is sworn in. Mr. Harris speaks softly. Mary, you've known Mr. Brown longer than anybody. You've been together decades. Would you characterize him as a good man? Mary gazes down at her clasped hands. Her mouth opens and nothing issues forth. The silence is prolonged so long the judge finally demands, Mrs. Brown, will you answer the question? She breathes unsteadily. He was a good man. Once. A murmur breaks out, but she continues before anyone can interrupt. Before the fame, before the pressure, before he started believing that love was something he could measure and distribute like money. Kody's lawyer shifts uncomfortably. Mary, please, but she interrupts him. No, let me finish. We all believed we were living some kind of divine plan, but what we lived was Kody's plan. We gave him our faith, our time, our hearts, and when we shattered, he called it rebellion. Kody's face inches forward, voice husky and bitten. Mary, not you too. Her eyes shine. You lost me long ago, Kody. The room is completely still now. No one's breathing. The hurt in her voice isn't anger. It's grief. She brushes a tear away and faces the judge. I'm not here to hurt him. I'm here because I want the truth out. Maybe then we can all begin anew. The judge nods gravely. Thank you, Mrs. Brown. Mary exits slowly, shaking on her shoulders. She does not look back at Kody. As the judge adjourns, everyone realizes this trial has reached a turning point. The vision of Kody as the tough, misinterpreted patriarch no longer exists, superseded by a man falling apart before our very eyes. Christine is at the window afterwards, observing the rain drop harder now, streaming down the glass like tears from the heavens. The three women are joined by Janelle and Mary. For a moment, the three women have a quiet, not of grief, but of fortitude. Kody sits single-handedly at the table in the background, his eyes fixed on the papers Robin had uncovered. His image in the courtroom glass appears smaller, breakable. He leans in, speaking softly, as if to himself. They don't get it. I did this for love, and even he doesn't sound sure anymore. As night falls, the storm erupts louder outside. Lightning cuts through the sky, painting white light across the courthouse windows. Christine zips her coat, her gaze level. Her lawyer will introduce the evidence Robin unveiled, the secret accounts, the infidelity spelled out in figures. And even though the rain continues to fall, deep within her, a new sense of strength is emerging. Because now, the world can finally see what she's lived all along. And Kody Brown? He knows. The next session is the one that is going to bring everything to an end. aisle, echoing like the beat of her determination. She is not the same woman who stood in silence alongside Kody, smiling for cameras. Today she is steady, determined, ready. As the doors to the courtroom open, the room falls silent. Even Kody, positioned at the defense table, is ill at ease. His characteristic swagger has thinned. His eyes flick nervously toward the folders piled in front of Avery, Christine's attorney. They're bulky, too bulky, and date back years on the labels. The judge enters. We will now continue proceedings. Counsel for the plaintiff, you may proceed. Avery gets up slowly. Your Honor, today we bring with us documented proof of hidden funds. Accounts opened and kept under only Mr. Kody Brown's name. The clerk is handing the judge a thick binder. He goes through it, his brow furrowed. The sound of paper rustling fills the silence. Avery goes on, walking serenely. These records reveal consistent deposits from joint family income into separate accounts. More than $400,000. These monies were never reported to the other wives, nor to the court during Christine's filing for divorce. Kody's attorney rises suddenly. Objection. These records may have been forged. Avery remains steadfast. They were subpoenaed straight from the bank. A gasp is low in the gallery. Even the judge's voice hardens. Mr. Harris, unless you produce counterproof, the objection stands. Kody's grip on his pen whitens his knuckles until it snaps into two parts. The noise is minute but jarring. Avery goes on, his voice firm but thick with conviction. Your Honor, this money was moved at times of importance in family conflicts, namely when Christine first started asking questions about money. Transparency, Mr. Brown insisted over to the family that all pennies were accounted for. These documents show otherwise. Christine observes him. Her face is inscrutable, but her eyes, they tell the tale. They're no longer angry. They're exhausted. Avery picks up another sheet of paper. Exhibit 12, letter from Mr. Brown's accountant. It specifically mentions what he referred to as emergency funds. When asked to explain, Mr. Brown said, quote, "Keep it quiet. My family doesn't have to know about that account." Kody's complexion goes pale. The courtroom rustles once more. The judge leans forward. Mr. Brown, do you have a response to this evidence? Kody's lawyer flinches, mouthing something in a hurry, but Kody brushes him away. He slowly rises, straightens his tie. Yes, Your Honor. I would. His words shake, but he masks it with rage. Those accounts were safety nets. This family counted on me. I ensured we'd make it through if something went wrong. You want to label it secret money? Okay. But it was a shield, not a fraud. Avery's tone is calm. Protection from what, Mr. Brown? Kody seethes. From them leaving. From having all that I worked for gone. Christine's eyes go soft, but her tongue slices sharp. You did not create a family, Kody. You created a cage. The judge bangs his gavel for order. But the tension has already overflowed out of control. Robin turns away, tears tracking down her face. Janelle grips her hands together in her lap, muttering something quietly. Perhaps a prayer. Perhaps incredulity. Avery moves closer to the bench. Your Honor, the plaintiff would also like to offer recorded testimony, a phone call between Mr. Brown and his financial advisor on February 17th last year. The bailiff connects a small speaker. The recording begins to play. Kody's voice fills the room. Make sure the transfers look like show royalties. If Christine finds out, I'll never hear the end of it. A hush falls so deep it feels like time itself pauses. Christine's face doesn't move, but a single tear escapes, not from pain, but release. Kody's lawyer jumps up again. That's a private recording. It's inadmissible. The judge shakes his head. It was acquired legally, overruled. Avery stops the tape. Your Honor, this tape confirms intent. Deception, not protection. Mr. Brown actively concealed funds while publicly maintaining transparency. The judge nods grimly. Go on. Kody leans back in his chair, massaging his temples. The man once in charge of a house of 4 wives now appears tiny, trapped, undone. The judge coughs. Mr. Brown, this is serious business. Hiding jointly owned assets during a breakup might constitute fraud. Kody's attorney attempts to interrupt, but again Kody silences him. I didn't steal anything. I made that money, all of it. Avery leans her head. And yet you called it show royalties to hide it from your family. He opens his mouth, but no words emerge. Christine breaks her silence, her tone firm and painfully serene. You told us that family was everything, Kody. But when it was time to stand up for us, all you stood up for was yourself. He glares at her. You never understood me. She shakes her head slowly. Maybe I finally do. The judge takes a moment to consider the new evidence by calling for a brief recess. As the courtroom clears, Christine sits motionless, her eyes fixed on the floor. Robin comes over quietly. Christine, I didn't know the recordings existed. Christine nods. I think you, Robin's voice breaks. He said we'd never have to worry about money again. I thought that meant security, not secrets. Christine looks out the window, where storm clouds are dissipating, a faint light seeping through. Perhaps this is what freedom actually looks like, she whispers. Kody stands at the defense table, his attorney whispering urgently, We need to get in front of this. If this goes to criminal review, you're in more trouble than you realize. But Kody's thoughts aren't on the law. They're on the faces in front of him, the women who used to trust him, who now finally see him as he is. He speaks softly, in a haze. They were supposed to love me no matter what. His attorney sighs. That's not how courts work. As everyone filters back in, the judge looks tired but resolute. We will reconvene for closing arguments tomorrow morning. The court advises both parties to prepare final statements. Christine gathers her things quietly. As she walks past Kody, he mutters, You'll regret this. She pauses, glances over for a moment and catches his gaze. No, Kody. I wish I had done it sooner. Outside, flashbulbs click as Christine steps out into the misty rain. Her entourage rushes forward, shouting questions. She ignores them. She moves ahead, her chin high, rain descending on her like confetti. Behind her, in the courthouse, Kody sits slumped in his chair. The papers are strewn out before him, all the lies, all the figures, all the secrets bare. Robin hovers by the door, caught between guilt and fatigue. Mary and Janelle stand in silence together, neither one speaking. In the silence, you can sense the heaviness of something coming to a close. Not only a marriage, but an age of half-truths. The gavel may not have fallen yet, but everyone knows the verdict is already forming in the air. And as the lights dim in the empty courtroom, one final sound lingers, the echo of Kody's own words, replaying in his mind. If Christine finds out, I'll never hear the end of it. Courtroom is colder than before. The walls, which were once sterile and neutral, now throb with all that has been said. The lies, the confessions, the heartbreak. The bailiff calls out, All rise, and all rise as Judge Whitaker enters. Christine stands tall alongside her lawyer, Avery. She's attired in subdued confidence, a navy suit, no makeup, no jewelry to conceal the fatigue beneath her eyes. Opposite her, Kody appears gaunt. His tie is awry. His hands tremble faintly as he readjusts his papers. But he hasn't so much as glanced at Christine. Today, the judge starts, voice steady, we have closing arguments in the case of Brown versus Brown about financial impropriety, emotional distress, and the hiding of marital assets. He looks at both sides. Proceed. Avery moves forward first. She does not glance at her notes. She doesn't require them. Her voice is level, steady, like the tide before a storm. Your Honor, this is not merely a matter of numbers. It's a matter of trust. My client for years thought she was in a partnership based on faith, loyalty, and equality. But beneath that facade, concealed accounts painted a different picture. Each dollar hidden there was a promise unfulfilled. Not merely to Christine, but to every member of that family. She walks slowly. When you take away the reality show cameras, the fame, and the facade, what's left is a woman who gave everything she was, emotionally, financially, spiritually, and a man who concluded that wasn't enough. Avery's words reverberate in the room like gentle thunder. The law cannot mend broken hearts, but it can uncover the truth. And in this courtroom, truth is important. She pauses, then fixates on Kody. Mr. Brown acted with intent. His intention was to mislead, and for that, justice has to speak. When Avery takes a seat, silence drags out, taut and brittle. Kody's attorney, Harris, stands up next. His voice is curt, spiky. Your Honor, my client does accept poor communication and stress. But lying, deceit, these are serious charges made upon circumstantial evidence and emotional inference. Mr. Brown has been the sole breadwinner for a complicated, non-traditional household. He acted in haste, not in greed, but to survive. He motions to Kody. He cared for his family. He just didn't trust the system to keep them safe. That's not criminal, and that's fear. Christine sits, impassive. The argument is thinner now, less persuasive under the heaviness of fact. Finally, the judge addresses Kody. Do you have anything you'd like to say before I make my ruling? Kody pauses. His lips part, then shut. For the very first time, he meets Christine's gaze. His eyes are bloodshot, but in their weariness, she sees something she's never noticed before. Vulnerability. He rises slowly. Christine, I know you despise me. Perhaps you should. But all the things I have done, I did because I felt that I was losing control. The family was drifting away. You were drifting away. And I had no idea how to prevent it. His voice breaks. I wasn't trying to hurt anyone. I was trying to hold us together. Christine's eyes never falter. You held us together by shattering us, Kody. He glances down, swallowing hard. Perhaps I did. Judge Whitaker clears his throat, resting his hands on the bench. This case is not just a marriage in shambles, but a family divided by faith, loyalty, and truth. The facts as shown are clear. Money was hidden with intent, and fraud was committed during a time of marital discord. He pauses, his voice measured. This court then finds in favor of the plaintiff, Christine Brown. The air escapes the room in a simultaneous gasp. Cameras snap with the sound of machine guns outside the doors. Avery breathes softly, nodding with pride to Christine. The judge proceeds. Mr. Brown shall pay back all hidden funds into the joint marital account. In addition, restitution for financial and emotional distress shall be awarded. The figure is to be decided on after an independent audit. Kody leans back in his chair. His attorney speaks softly to him, but he doesn't answer. The gavel falls once. Court is adjourned. Christine remains seated for a moment, as though her body has yet to keep pace with her heart. Then slowly she rises. The sound of the courtroom washes around her. Reporters calling out, spectators murmuring, papers shuffling. But she doesn't hear it. Only her heartbeat. Robin creeps up slowly, tears streaming down her face. Christine, I have no idea what to say. Christine smiles sadly. Then don't. Just live differently. Janelle appears at her side, putting a hand on her shoulder. You did it. You really did it. Christine nods. No, Janelle, we did. Every time we kept our mouths shut. We created this. Today, we destroyed it. They step out together, through the reporters, through the popping cameras. Christine doesn't grant interviews. She doesn't have to. The world can see what victory looks like without talking. Outside, finally, the clouds part. The sun slices through the gray, warm and bright, like a curtain going up on a new stage. Christine holds her face into the light. For the first time in years, she feels free. Behind her, within the courthouse, Kody sits. The courtroom clears until only he is left, and the sound of his own failure. He takes up one of the papers on the table, the account statement with his name and the words concealed, stamped across it. His reflection gazes back from the shiny paper. Robin hovers in the doorway, not knowing if she should go to him. Kody, and it's over. He doesn't glance at her. No, Robin, it's all gone. She moves towards him. Perhaps now you can begin anew. He laughs harshly. Begin anew with what? Everybody despises me, she pauses. Not everybody. He glances at her, but she's already headed in another direction. Christine is alone in her kitchen later that night, the light of a lone candle dancing on the counter. The house is still, no cameras, no stress, Just her and the buzz of quiet. She takes out her phone and scrolls through past photos, holiday meals, birthday celebrations, family occasions, smiling faces that seemed so genuine. Then she puts it away. Her voice, little more than a whisper, fills the room. I hope you find peace, Kody. I really do. The screen goes black. Then her voice comes back. The same warm narrator's voice that set us off on this journey. When truth finally takes the stand, it doesn't destroy what was real. It just reveals what never was. Christine didn't win by proving Kody wrong. She won by finally choosing herself. And perhaps that is what justice actually is. Not punishment, but liberty. Because sometimes the truth does not set you free. It merely reminds you that you never were trapped to begin with. Fade out.